So I've had this question brought up to me a couple times during my AMA live streams here on YouTube. And it was, how do I start my own self-development journey? Now, obviously, in the moment of the live stream, I don't have the time to just gather my thoughts and come up with a well-formulated answer. But I figured, hey, why not make a video on this exact subject? I took a couple of days to really deep dive into this idea of embarking on a personal quest in order to better your life, because that is what self development is, or rather, what it should be. It's about pinpointing your weaknesses and inadequacies as a human being and finding the ways to better them. And a lot of people, and that's myself included, have gone through life without any consideration for self reflection. It's almost as if we go through the motions of life day in and day out. When I was a kid, I was in this perpetual routine of eat, sleep, play. Then as a teenager, it kind of transformed into eat, sleep, school. And then now, finally, as an adult, I realize it's almost the same thing, and it's just become eat, sleep, work. And it feels like it's just so hard to find the time or motivation to work on yourself when you have bills and responsibilities piling up, or even like an approaching deadline for a school project or essay. And also, when you spend time with your family or have like a gathering with family or friends, all of these things take up your time and energy, which can be completely exhausting. Now, this leads us to the most important thing you need to do in order to start your own self development journey, which, in my opinion, 100% without a doubt, is your health. Now, before we go any further, I think it's very important to state the personal biases I have. Is that a word, biases? So that you can understand where I'm coming from. Because at the end of the day, I can try to be as open minded and transparent as possible. But deep down, I know that my perspective is going to be swayed by the things that worked for me in the past. So, for example, I've had great success with lifting weights and calisthenics instead of something like cardio or CrossFit. And I've also had amazing results with intermittent fasting over the more conventional mainstream diets that are out there. So, when I say that you should start your journey by focusing in on your health, it's because this is something that was life changing for me. It had the most profound impact on my life. And I know that things like reading, learning, writing, and whatever else are all very important in terms of self education and self development. But in my opinion, taking care of your body and health should be priority number one, because a strong and healthy body will provide you with the foundation you need to work on all those other disciplines in life. When I first became interested in health and fitness a couple years ago, I had this fear of becoming old and frail. And it's not like this was coming from a place of strength. At the time, I was maybe like 150 pounds or 155 pounds at most. So I was fairly skinny and weak. I don't think I ever lifted a single dumbbell or barbell all throughout my teenage years. And the only physical stress that I ever put my body through was playing sports like basketball at the park with my friends. But what I soon realized was, instead of depleting my energy, daily exercise kind of increased my overall capacity for energy, which sounds very strange and counterintuitive because you would think that exerting yourself physically would result in you feeling more tired. But for whatever reason, I've experienced the exact opposite. On the days that I did work out, I just felt alive and full of energy, just ready to tackle whatever life threw my way. But whenever I skipped a workout, I always ended up feeling lethargic, uninspired, and just dull, which usually resulted in this internal battle I'd have to play with myself, where I'm just constantly fighting to stay motivated and disciplined just to get through the day. Now, of course, this isn't going to work for everybody. There are perfect examples of extraordinary human beings out there who also achieve greatness in life without any attention to exercise and diet. Now, take Warren Buffett, for example. He's probably one of the most successful entrepreneurs and investors of our time. The guy is like, what, 90 years old, I think? And so he's a 90-year-old billionaire. And I think his daily routine consists of eating McDonald's and drinking like 6 cans of Coke or something crazy. But imagine just imagine how much better a strong and healthy Warren Buffett would be compared to fast food and Coca-Cola Warren Buffett. Like who knows? Maybe maybe I'm a little bit out of line here, but I feel like the return on investment you get from building a strong and healthy body just can't be ignored. Guys like Warren Buffett use this term all the time. They seek out long-term business plans that will yield them huge returns on their initial investment. So, wouldn't it make sense to do the same with your health? When I'm old and gray, I want to be flexible and mobile enough to squat down and pick up my future grandkids. This is just something that I want to do later in life. Or even if I fall and hurt myself, I want to be physically able to do a push up and get myself to safety. These are all additional benefits you receive in the long run if you take care of your body. And it's funny because when I started going to the gym, my goal was to just get healthier and have more energy. But by consistently lifting heavier and heavier weights, not only was I becoming stronger, but my body started to change as well. The initial goal was never to improve my physique. I didn't know anything about losing fat or building muscle mass. I was completely clueless about all that stuff. But a leaner, stronger, better looking body was just an inevitable byproduct of working out. And this is where the self-development chain reaction will start. As you slowly get in shape week by week, your body will look better inch by inch. You will develop this newfound self-confidence and belief in yourself that you probably never even had before. And this is a point that I believe will completely change your life. If you go back to June 22nd, 2019, I posted my very first self-development video on this channel. This was a huge milestone for me, not only because it was the start of my journey, but it proved to myself that I actually knew how to lose weight and get in shape. At the time, these were all just ideas and concepts that I was studying. I didn't know for sure if I could, burn fat or lose 20 pounds in 14 weeks because I had never done it before. And how can you have the self-confidence in teaching people something if you've never done it yourself in the past? Looking back at the video, it does make me kind of cringe. If I knew then what I know now about filmmaking and editing videos, I could have produced a much more compelling story and an overall better video. But everyone's first video on YouTube is terrible, and that's okay, because we all have to start somewhere. But that is what really mattered. I was able to find a way to just start and get the ball rolling. And this is usually the most difficult part for people. It's figuring out how can they get that initial burst of momentum. And this is why I can't stress this enough. Improving your health and fitness makes everything else just so much easier. Once I got past that starting point, things really started to take off for me. My body felt stronger, I slept better, I had more energy throughout the day. And then all of a sudden, I found myself in this predicament where I had an extra hour or two at night, where normally I would just be completely exhausted. And I would go downstairs and sit on the couch and just watch some Netflix for the rest of the night. But now I had time to read that book I meant to start. I had time to teach myself Adobe Premiere and Adobe After Effects. I had time to just brush up on my photography skills and learn the nuances of filmmaking. Doors just started to open for me one after another. And those things that I thought were difficult in the past became a part of my everyday life. I had all this newfound energy to seek out new habits and routines that sort of just contributed to this ball of momentum that I had built up. And the key was to just keep going. Just keep showing up, keep grinding, keep working at it. And I know that you're going to be discouraged at the start. It's going to be really hard and you're not going to see any immediate results. But that's okay. Failure is a huge part of the process and it's something that you shouldn't shy away from. Now, this reminds me of that old story of watering your seeds and that you will eventually reap what you sow. Like I said earlier, in the beginning, you're just not going to see any results when you start your self-development journey. But as long as you plant that seed of exercise and plant that seed of healthy eating, all you have to do is just keep showing up. Keep giving that seed water, love, and attention, and push through when you're faced with adversity. Just tell yourself to keep going. Just keep going, keep showing up, and just don't stop. If that means saying no to fast food, then you say no. Or if you only have time to exercise in the morning, then you wake up early. Just like the farmer who planted those seeds, they need time to grow into something beautiful. But once you figure out how to stay consistent and nurture those first seeds, you can now begin to just plant new ones. Plant that seed of reading, meditation, sleeping early, or whatever positive habit that you want to incorporate into your life. And every day, give that new habit some attention. Give it some love and the effort that it needs to be successful. This is how you can start your journey towards the best version of yourself. If you're still not sure how or where to start, I'd recommend taking an honest look at yourself and figure out some of the things that you can live without. Because a lot of the time, eliminating things of excess are just as important as adding new positive habits. I think this has the biggest impact on our time because I always hear people say things like, I don't have enough time to go to the gym, or I don't have enough time to cook or eat healthy. But in reality, you actually do. You're just not prioritizing your time properly. This really became apparent to me when I was working on my video about wanting to live without my phone. I went into my phone settings and I checked the data usage that I was using on all of my apps. And it gets really crazy when you add everything up. I think I use over like 20 gigs per month on Instagram and 15 gigs on something like Google Chrome, just casually browsing content. So imagine how much time per day I was spending on my phone. And this doesn't even include text messages, Facebook chat, WhatsApp, emails, or whatever else you use on your phone, which can all be incredibly time consuming. Now, I'm not saying that you should live your life exactly like me. I don't believe that anyone has the right to tell you what to do with your life. But what I do believe is, I think there is an incredible amount of value in sharing ideas and sharing habits that have made a huge impact on my life. And I hope that there is something you can take away from my past experiences and be able to apply them to your own situation. And even if you disagree with some of my perspectives, then that's great too. That's perfectly fine. Maybe you hate lifting weights, or you find calisthenics and bodyweight exercises to be extremely boring. That is perfectly fine. There is no one size fits all solution in life. But maybe you could try going for a walk, or a hike, or a swim, or just a bike ride. Whatever that thing is, I encourage you at the very least to go out and find it. Hopefully you guys found my thoughts and experiences helpful in some way. I've fully embraced this self-development journey I'm on, and I don't intend on stopping anytime soon. It just took me so long to find my path and purpose in life that I believe that this is my way of giving back to the world. So to anyone out there who made it this far and is still watching, I might not know all of you on a personal level, but I do wish you all the best and hope that your own self-development journey will be a great one. Thanks for watching.